Welcome to Meet the Missouri Horse Professional. I'm your host, Jennifer Hurt of JR's Equine Spa and Retreat, and I'm interviewing Missouri horse professionals in your area. So come join me in meeting this week's talented Missouri horse professional. Well, welcome everyone to another episode of Meet the Missouri Horse Professional. I'm your host, Jennifer, and we're here on location at JR's Equine Performance and Wellness. Today, my guest is Ronnie Espresser of Kairos Healing and Quantum Wellness. The spelling's a little different than what it sounds, guys, so I had to practice a little bit. But you can see the correct name here on the screen. Now, one thing I want to point out, guys, is I know that we usually videotape in the arena, so you guys can see activity going on in the background. Well, today when we checked the weather this morning, we were under a heat advisory with a humidity at 87%. So we're like, okay, we're going to bring it into the lounge. And of course, we start the interview and it's 74 and the humidity is not that very hot. So we could actually done this out the arena, but that's okay. You guys get to see our beautiful lounge. It's actually got a wine bar with cocktails and TV, DVD player and all that. Sometime I'll do a video showing you exactly our lounge. But anyway, let's get back to the interview. Now, Ronnie doesn't actually live in Missouri.
No.
She's in Arkansas. However, she does a lot of work up here in Missouri. So that's why I asked her to go ahead and let me interview her. Now today, we're going to hear some wellness services that she does. Some of them I know and use. Some of them I don't know about. So I'm actually going to be learning as you guys are learning as well. So Ronnie, thank you for agreeing to do this interview with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so why don't you go ahead and explain some of the therapies you do?
Okay. My favorite is the targeted light therapy. So I use a small tool, looks like a flashlight. It's red light and near infrared light set at 660 and 850 nanometers of wavelength.
Okay.
And that
Which
is
is like a
important.
cold laser, the wavelength, same wavelength.
Yes.
So, okay, great.
Yeah. And what it is it's a non-invasive form of acupuncture using light instead of needles.
Gotcha.
And so we have an assessment that we do, and the horse physically tells us where it's hurting. It
That
is
is
the
awesome.
most amazing thing to watch.
That is awesome.
With body language, you know?
Yeah.
And then we stimulate acupuncture points. We have a formula for just health and balance.
Yeah.
And then we have other formulas for different things they may be experiencing. West Nile.
Okay.
West Nile, we have a formula for West Nile.
Nice.
I worked with Dr. McLaren. He is the doctor who actually started targeted light therapy years ago. And I was able to learn just right under him.
That's awesome.
And he actually went on a farm that had 18 horses that had West Nile.
Wow.
And saved all but just a handful. With
Wow,
red light
that's
therapy.
amazing.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you have a protocol for EPM?
Yes.
Okay, you hear that, guys? Because EPM seems to be going rapid.
Okay.
I hear about it all the time. I mean, and I think that's kind of a lot of people's go-to diagnosis on a lot of conditions.
Yes.
So whether it really is EPM or not, but a lot of people, right away think it's EPM. So, and probably a lot of it is, it's immune system disorder, and every animal's got immune system deficiencies,
Yes.
So that is really great. I really want people to hear that you have an EPM protocol, because I get asked that all the time.
Yep.
So you guys, there you go, another thing to do.
I actually have a testimony.
Okay, on the EPM?
I worked on a horse 22 years ago.
Okay.
20 years ago? Actually, it was about 20 years ago. Somebody had a 98% foundation bred quarter horse, and he was 2 years old.
Yeah.
Was down, emaciated, literally on his deathbed.
Wow.
And they brought this horse to me. And I was new at what
Yeah.
I was doing. And I don't tell anybody no, because there are no adverse effects with this.
Yeah.
That's why I like it so much. And because if you're not healing what you're working on, you're going to heal something else.
Gotcha.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And back then, I had access to, again, Dr. McLaren. So I called him and I'm like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Well, he gave me protocol from Australia.
Nice.
In Australia, they use a cattle vaccine, or a cattle medicine.
Really?
Yes, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, and I can't.
Wow.
It's super popular with cattle. So,
Wow.
but the reason they don't is it can damage their muscle in their neck.
Oh, gotcha.
Here in the United
Yeah.
States, in Australia, they use it as part of the EPM protocol.
Wow.
And so I was able to, in just a couple of months, working on this horse every
Yeah.
day, feeding him. I got his nutrition up. I was able to get him back to basically normal.
Yeah.
If you looked at him, if he was
Nice.
walking, he was normal. But it got him, his neurological symptoms were really bad. But all
Yeah.
they wanted to do was be able to breed him.
Really?
So I let him breed my mares
Oh, gotcha.
to show them
Yeah.
that he can breed,
Yeah.
and they come out perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And they never came back and got him.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
Never came back and got him.
I guess bonus.
Never. Well, it's a bonus, yeah, but I didn't have any papers.
Oh, well, that's
You know,
true, yeah.
but it's
Yeah.
okay
Yeah.
because I was able to show that we can work with EPM.
Yeah.
We can get rid of the EPM, if you will, the protozoa.
Yeah.
But it may leave some neurological symptoms. This horse was the sweetest thing, even as a stallion, because I handled him so much.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, when you watched him run, it was the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Really?
But if he was just walking,
Yeah.
and you didn't know, you're good. But his limbs went the
Oh, he
opposite
was
direction
great.
of his head.
Gotcha.
Yes, his neurological symptoms were very bad. But he lived till he was 9 years old.
Gotcha.
And
When was this
with-
that you started treating?
When?
Yeah.
It was,
Like how old?
he was 2.
He was 2. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And once I got his weight up and knew
Yeah.
that he was good, I stopped.
The treatment.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
I stopped working with him.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and only
okay.
worked on him when he appeared to have, something going
Yeah.
on, or I knew something was going on. I still have his offspring.
Oh, gotcha.
Perfectly
Gotcha.
fine, healthy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you have a stallion that gets EPM and you can get rid of it, it's not something I believe
Yeah.
that is passed on if you can get rid of it.
Right. Yeah.
And none of them. Let's see. We have 3 offspring, and none of them have any neurological symptoms or anything.
And
like
see,
that.
from my understanding, the EPM they think might be passed on through the dam when she's pregnant, brewing the baby up. But I hadn't heard about the sires being able to pass it. So,
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
I haven't worked with them.
So, with your targeted light, how long you been doing that?
I've been doing targeted light therapy for 23 years.
23 years. Okay. And what's the name of the company that?
The name of the company that I'm partnered with is Photonic Therapy Institute out of Arizona.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've heard of them. Okay.
I used to work directly with Dr. McLaren, and he had his own lights and
Yeah.
everything, and then he passed away about 15 years ago.
Oh, gotcha.
And
Okay.
he gave the business to someone, and her and I don't see eye to eye.
Might want to edit that.
You
out.
might wanna edit that. and it's okay. She's in Spain.
Oh, gotcha.
And we just didn't
Gotcha.
see eye to eye, and,
Yeah.
and it's just one of those things, in business that happens.
That does.
And
That happens.
I found Photonic Therapy Institute, and what this woman's doing is amazing.
Yeah.
And I am a rep for her company. But she is so intelligent with light,
Oh, gotcha.
like with light, knowing what light does in the body
Yeah.
and things like that. So it's very amazing. I'm on a call every week. And I learn, and I still learn, and I still learn
Yeah.
because it is just.
I don't think we'll ever actually fully understand. I mean, when you have scientists, the smartest of the smart people,
Yes.
who are every day learning something new, and have been for decades and decades and decades. Yeah, we'll never learn it all.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I kinda wanna put it-
and that kind of leads into the next therapy that you offer.
Yes, but I do want to say something
Okay,
for all you
yeah.
women out there. I do a 5-minute facelift every day with this light.
Nice.
So if I wake up with puffy eyes,
Yeah.
I'll put it on my eyes. Within 5 minutes, my eyes are not puffy anymore. I can get rid
Nice.
of wrinkles. So red light is really good.
Yeah.
So you get to use it on your horses, but you can also use it on yourself.
And that's what's really nice about a lot of these therapies, they, especially with the horses, because they actually started being designed for people.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, were successful, and so then they're like, okay, let's make an equine line of this. So that is wonderful.
Well, and when I started, I got kicked in the chest by a horse.
Oh, really?
Yes, and the light was used on me in
Yeah.
this clinic, and I never bruised. I never had any pain.
Yeah.
Nothing. And the doctor, they took me to the hospital because I was in
yeah.
my 30s and make sure
Yeah.
I didn't have a heart attack because
Right.
of it, or
Right.
it didn't do anything to the rhythm of my heart.
Yeah.
And nothing. And that's what got me started on this. And then I'll be out working with a horse, and the person will go, if you can do that for my horse, what can you do for me?
Yeah.
And that's how it all started. it's been a great journey.
That is awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
Well, you ready to talk about your next?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and take it over.
All right. So I'm going to go into the AO scan. The AO scan is a bioresonance device, and you also use the AO scan.
Yeah,
so
I do, because I was introduced to it by you.
Yes, yes.
So,
and it has been a great added tool.
yeah.
With adding it in with the light therapy.
Yeah.
Because it will show me where the horse is having issues, even though the horse will tell me when I do an
Right.
assessment.
Right.
And I was telling you earlier, I had an incident about a month ago. One of my horses got injured.
Yeah.
And I was 40 miles away, and so I ran a scan. It didn't show anything, and that told me the injury was pretty fresh. And about 2 hours later, I ran another scan because my daughter sent me a video, and it was bad. And so I was headed down there running a scan. By the
Yeah.
time I got there, it showed me that her whole shoulder, chest and shoulder was involved.
Yeah.
So I got out of the truck and I did the assessment on her, and she told me the same thing.
Yeah.
And so I was able to I'd already run scans on her.
Yeah.
And so I was able to do the light therapy on her.
Yeah.
And I just did it twice a day. I did do a little bit of PEMF one day, but we'll get to that later. Because the AO scan is, I love that we can do it from a distance.
Yes.
I think it's incredible
Yeah.
to be able to do from a distance. And
Yeah.
I think it could really, we have a really amazing veterinarian that speaks on behalf of the AO scan out of Texas.
Yes.
And I'll tell you, he loves this AO scan.
Yeah.
And I think if some more vets would just embrace it, they would see a big, uptick in their
I know I had
practice.
one client who I had emailed her the scan and of her horse, and I encouraged her, send it to your vet, and so she sent it to the vet, and she said that, well, the vet liked it and glanced at it, that it was the vet techs that were really intrigued with it.
Yes.
And it's probably because, the vets are so busy, they're just like, okay, next case, where the vet techs are like, oh, let's learn more,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So and
of course, I have the mental thinking, don't take no for an answer.
me too.
I'm like, and you guys, as you know, I'm really huge into energy healing, and it's because they can feel that energy. If you already have it in your head, oh, I might as well put this horse down, I don't see how it's going to make it through this, you're probably right.
Yeah.
Because the horse is going to feel that.
Yeah.
And the horse is going to go, well, if they say I'm done in, I guess I'm done in. And they're going to go downhill real fast. But if you go in it with an attitude of, I'm not taking no for an answer, there is a solution, there is a way to heal. And don't even get us on how the body can actually heal itself.
No.
That's a whole other episode. But, so, yeah, like when we were having a lot of people come in for rehabbing their horses, it's an emotional time. I've been there. I know how it is. I got told within 2 weeks, yeah, your horse is going to be fine. It's going to resume reining training here in a couple months. To 2 weeks later, this horse will never be ridden again. He'll never even probably be able to mount a mare again. It's devastating news when you hear that. But you know what? Jennifer said, no, that's wrong. And we got it reversed. And in fact, it was the same vet who ended up saying, yeah, you might not be able to do reining because I wasn't able to get everything 100% reversed. But he could do Western pleasure, so don't take no for an answer.
Never.
Yeah,
And that's
especially because, like you said, there's all these therapies that can help.
There is a veterinarian in Wyoming that has been doing prosthetics for horses for 25 years.
And I've seen some videos.
And
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah,
Prosthetics
wow.
has been around for horses.
Yeah.
And why aren't we utilizing that?
There you go. Yeah.
Because these animals are such great therapy animals.
Yeah.
And I'm a perfect example of that for therapy as
Yeah.
far as for myself.
Yeah.
And healing through using horses.
Well, in going into detail on what the AO scan does would be like a few hour
It would.
session
It really would.
because, even though, I think it's been since December, I think I got.
Right around there.
Yeah. I don't even know completely all that it can do. And I haven't even utilized completely everything I know it can do. And if you guys haven't seen some of my other videos kind of explaining, I hadn't gone into a whole lot of detail on the AO scan, but it does people, does horses, cats, dogs. It's a whole family therapy. It is.
It really
It's
is.
a whole family therapy. And one little unit, I think so many people are so used to seeing therapies that are these big machines and you haul it out and you put it on the horse and all this. And so then when you whip out this little thing, and in fact, when you were here and I was doing the demo on the horse, one of the observers, she was like, okay, where is it? Because you're holding your cell phone. And I'm like, no, my cell phone's right here, and it's just amazing what that device does. And a lot of people don't know quantum yet.
Correct.
And if they did, it would make total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Even though quantum can be very hard to understand, and because of the way we've been programmed all of our lives, it's hard to grasp quantum. But I'm all about it. Oh, I am so all about it.
Me too. And one thing, I do work with a lot of people as well, and so I do inner voice challenges, and I would like to just touch on the inner voice for people, because
Yes.
it is incredibly important to deal with our own stuff when we are dealing with horses, especially because their energy field is so large.
Yes.
And we all have stuff.
Yeah.
And so
So
sometimes
leave it outside the barn.
right, right,
Yeah.
or do the inner voice.
Do the inner voice, so it's locked.
Yeah, and so what the inner voice does is, you speak into the device for 10 seconds, or if I have somebody that is not near me, I have them send me a voice clip.
Yeah.
And then I hold my phone to my device.
Yeah.
And I do it that way. And what it does is it scans the voice for over 2,000 frequencies,
Yeah,
which is just
that's
incredible.
amazing. Yeah.
And it picks out your 3 highest notes and your lowest note, and it sends you tones that counteract them.
Yeah.
And with frequency underneath, the frequencies that it found were out of balance to bring your body back into homeostasis.
Yeah.
What they have found is it also helps to release, every time you do it, 25 trapped emotions in the body.
I believe that.
Mhm.
And
Yes.
I gotta say this about the inner voice. I loved what they done, the changes that they made.
Mhm. Yes,
It's 100 times better than what it used to be.
I agree.
Especially picking out your different tone, or not the tone, not the pulses, but the tones.
Right.
Changing the
The
tones.
piano.
Yeah, and oh my gosh, that makes such a big. And I love it that now. Not only can you cut down the time, even though I usually listen to a longer, but because I'm usually in the morning drinking my coffee, and so why not?
Yeah.
But I like how if you are in a quick, hurry, you guys, it's only 3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
You can do it while you're brushing your teeth.
That's right.
Literally.
Exactly.
And, and so I have, it's funny because a lot of people will tell me, I don't have time. No, they made it to where you do have time.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 minutes is nothing.
Because you guys, before they changed this, just a few months ago, it was 12 minutes.
Yep.
So they heard everybody saying, I don't have time. And they said, you do now.
Right, exactly.
So-
And, I've been on a huge healing journey for the last 2 years myself.
Yeah.
And emotional healing. And I use this daily, and when I don't use it, I know that I didn't use it.
Yeah.
It is a vital part of my daily routine that I do for my healing.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I listened to it on the way up here just because sometimes I get a little nervous about just different things.
Well, sure.
And it just calms you.
Calms
and
you
it's really.
You become a duck and let the water roll off your back.
Yep.
Now, being that we're talking about the emotional healing, I kind of want to let that lead into another therapy you offer.
And it is another, these 3 are the top 3 that I use.
Gotcha.
The light therapy, the targeted light therapy,
Yeah.
the AO scan, and then emotion code and body code.
Yes.
And emotion code and body code is distance energy healing. And I get chills. Look, I'm getting chills just talking about it because this therapy has changed my life.
Is this your baby
Yes.
out of all the therapies? Because you seem a little bit more passionate about this one.
I am passionate about this one on the human side of it.
Okay.
But I've also seen it work for animals. And so horses, and I'll touch on that because a lot of horses come out of abusive situations.
Can.
Yes.
Or even just stressful situations
Stressful
that
situations.
aren't really abusive, but to them seem abusive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or maybe they've come out of a kill pen.
Yeah.
Or, something that has caused them
Well, even separation from a buddy.
separation from a buddy.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because I have worked on several horses and they've been around 10 or 12 years old.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they take me back to 4 years old. And it's really...
You mean like the age of when they were 4 years?
Mhm.
So is that like an age that they trap a lot of?
emotions.
Really?
Mhm.
So it's kind of like they're leaving childhood about ready to adulthood.
And their training is starting for most of them.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
And so, and when I do emotion code and body code, I'm releasing trapped emotions
Yeah.
and imbalances
Yeah.
in their body.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times when I release trapped emotions, I sit there and I'm like, what on earth happened to this horse? Or was it just the training that the horse trapped the emotion differently than what we would, what actually was going on?
Yeah.
But I do see a lot of change in the horses once we're able to release these the emotions, the trapped emotions. Now the imbalances are incredible, and I want to say this because one of my horses was having an issue with her front leg.
Yeah. Okay, so Ronnie, I'm going to stop the interview right there because this is a lot of great information you're throwing out to us. So I'm actually going to make this into a two-part video. So I'm going to go ahead and 1 week we'll play part 1, and then you guys the following week we'll go ahead and play part 2. So catch both those interviews. We took way longer than what I originally thought we were, but I think all this information is stuff that you guys need to hear. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and make it a two-parter. So you guys listen for part 2 next week.